All right, Mayor Elicker, we're here the day after primary day. What are your takeaways from yesterday's Democratic primaries?
So I was excited about the results. Obviously, I came out and supported both Will DeLeese and Eli, and they worked their tails off. I supported them because I thought they were the best candidates for the job. Frankly, we had four really good candidates. But both of them, I thought, were going to best represent the city, aligned with the values that we care about, whether it's housing or education funding or fighting back against the federal government and Donald Trump's attacks on Connecticut and New Haven. I think there's a tendency to kind of read into these results a lot of like, what does it mean? I think that fundamentally both of those candidates worked their tails off, knocking on thousands of doors, got the message out, the message resonated with people, and that drove people to the polls.
What message do you think resonated most? I don't know if you saw any through lines between the two campaigns, or if there's one thing that resonated with Eli, one resonated with Will DeLeese. But
ultimately, I don't think the candidates' platforms were wildly different for both races, right? I don't think Leland and Will DeLeese were talking about wildly different things from a policy perspective, and the same with Eli and Pat, right? I think it was about them putting in a lot of work and showing that they really cared about what people think, and that drove people to the polls. Having knocked on thousands of doors myself, people really appreciate someone that's going to work their tail off, shows that in canvassing, really appreciate someone that is going to be available and listen. And I think that got them a lot of good results yesterday.
And you have a bigger picture. What does this mean for the state of the Democratic Party? But Will DeLeese and Eli were both not endorsed by the local Democratic Party. You did endorse both. You're one of the very few, if only, local elected official to endorse both before the primaries. What do you think this says about the state of the local Democratic Party in New Haven, that the candidates they backed lost in both primaries?
I'm going to come out and support who I think is going to be the best candidate for the job, and that's what I did. I think there's a tendency to read into this stuff a lot more than is, actually some sort of theme. I think that at the end of the day, there were a lot of people that cared on both sides of either election. Now, I was actually quite impressed yesterday, having visited a number of the polls, at how well people were all getting along. And how collaborative people are, especially in an election where people put a lot of energy and passion into things. It was a moment of pride for New Haven to see how people, the different campaigns were joking with one another, sharing each other's tents when it started to rain, things like that. It was nice. And I know people are going to come back together and make sure that, because we by and large share our values, and we're going to continue to fight for things that we care about in our city.
And my last question for you, outside New Haven, the really big primary yesterday was in the 1st Congressional District. Luke Bronin handily beat incumbent John Larson. Luke Bronin really ran on a generational change angle. I wonder what your takeaway, if you followed that race, or what you make of both Luke Bronin winning and winning by so much. What lessons should we take from that?
So I worked closely with Luke when he was mayor of Hartford, because I was mayor of New Haven at the time, and was very impressed with Luke. He works his tail off. He's smart on the policies. He's good at implementing. And so when he announced he was getting into the race, I was pretty confident that he would do well. And he did better than even I expected as far as the margins go. It seemed like it was going in the direction of being closer originally, but it doesn't surprise me because he just worked his tail off. Again, we read into this, is this a generational change thing? I think this is a lot of times it's about which person is working harder, being able to engage with the voters, and has a message that resonates with people. I think Luke was successful doing that.
Thank you very much.
Yep.